Welcome to Adelaide. Thanks very much for your time. Melinda Does Doris. Obviously a great success, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit why you chose Doris Day amongst all the stage and the star screens of her era and subsequent.
Well, there's really no one else like Doris Day. She was so multi-talented, great singer, wonderful dancer, and a brilliant actress. So, you know, from that point of view, I guess I loved her and still love her. She is also the most beautiful spirit, and I guess as a kid I fell in love with her warmth and joyous kind of personality, and through films like Calamity Jane and all of her big hits that she had, I just always loved Doris. She's just my favourite.
And when you listen to her singing and your singing of her, this tune sounded at times fairly simple and effortless, but is that really how it worked out in terms of performing her works?
In the studio? The songs were actually a lot more difficult than I thought they would be, a lot of them. A lot of the songs that she had hits with that sounded easy, she made them sound easy. They're very difficult songs to sing. You've got to be technically a really good singer and have great, breathing technique and control for these songs. So it was really a challenge to sing them well and to get the vocals to a point where I was happy with them, happy enough to release them.
Now, Melinda Does Doris is a somewhat provocative title for an album. Who came up with that?
Me. I've had the title for quite a long time, and I was a little worried about what Doris would think, but I think she's pretty broad-minded. But it's a bit of fun, and I've always wanted to do Doris, but mainly vocally.
Now, you've recently been on Dancing with the Stars. Now, you did better than a Big Brother housemate, but you got beaten by a gardener at the end of the day. Tell us about that experience of being on Dancing with the Stars.
It was the most challenging, difficult, terrifying experience I've ever had, but the most fun. It was really great, when you're going on national TV, putting yourself up for judgment in something that you're not very good at, it's always very confronting. But I really, really enjoyed it. In the end, I was quite proud of what I achieved.
Now, the time you got bundled out, between you and the Russian, Sergei, who blamed who for the failure on the night?
Neither of us blamed. The German-Russian team were bonded for life out of that experience. No, we were just really happy to be a part of it for as long as we were. And Sergei is just a wonderful teacher and a lovely guy, and we really will be mates for life, I believe.
Now, your mother was also a country music singer, into the yodeling game. Yodeling didn't strike you as being a market niche?
Not really. No, I tried to avoid yodeling as much as possible. I absolutely respect Mum for what she does. She's really one of the best in the world, amazing singer and yodeler. But no, it wasn't really my thing. I was more into the songwriting and just plain singing.
Now, you have a theatrical production of Melinda Does Doris coming out for the Tamworth Music Festival. Tell us a little bit about what sort of show that's going to be for us.
Well, I'm writing it at the moment, actually. It's going to be an informative show about Doris's life, but also touching a little on the similarities, perhaps between my life and Doris's life. I haven't had as tragic a life as Doris, but there's been a few similarities there that are quite interesting. And really it's all about the songs. She had so many wonderful songs, so I'll be featuring all of the songs on the album, plus a handful more that aren't on the record that people love of hers. I could have made a triple album with so many wonderful songs, but I just hope it'll inform more people about Doris as a person, some of the trials and tribulations that she's been through and she's overcome, and hopefully when they leave they'll just be filled with the joy that you feel when you hear those songs.
Now, both Doris Day and yourself carried German names, in her case, Kappelhoff. Are you proposing that you're going to be changing your name as well to something remarkably more Australian?
Well, it's actually interesting because she was Kappelhoff, she went to Day. My father's name was Bean, so I was Melinda Bean, and I went German. I went to Schneider. It's my mum's maiden name because I didn't fancy Bean as a stage name.
And the theatrical production you're doing, is this, I understand that there's some chance that this might, that you might be appearing at the Cabaret Festival here next year.
Yeah.
Is that more or less the show that you would propose to bring here?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that. And I spoke to David Campbell and he said, we want you for the Cabaret Festival, so I'm going to hold him to that. And it's just such a wonderful festival. Last year I was a part of it with my mum. We did our Schneider show. And this year doing Doris will be just a joy. And I know that there's a lot of Doris Day fans here in Adelaide.
Now, the country music scene, you've obviously worked in Nashville and so forth, but what are there salient differences between the country music scene in the United States and that which you play for in Australia? Yeah,
big differences. Musically, mainly, and of course, I guess population, fans, but it's all relative. But musically, I really prefer the country music that we have here. It's much more rootsy and more of a it's more broad stylistically here. Different styles of country are accepted here, whereas over there it's really getting to the point where everyone is sounding exactly the same. The artists could almost be interchangeable. And what I love about here is that we've got, Americana, rootsier country, bluegrass, the real traditional George Jones kind of country, and you can get away with that kind of versatility on your albums and people accept that, and it keeps it more interesting, I think.
And you've been described as sort of a new wave of Australian country music performers. So what are those differences between your style and the old wave?
Oh, look, I think it's the whole package, really. It's about image, the way we dress now. It's changed a lot from country even 10 years ago. 20 years ago.
Just on that, I noticed in some of your outfits you almost look a bit Joan Jett, Susie Q almost in some of the black outfits. Is that part of that, getting that increasing edge?
I guess so. I just think, it's great to be able to just be very high fashion and be kind of cutting edge with what you wear and still be a country act. You don't have to wear tassels and fringing and all of that. So it's just good to break down those perceptions of what country music should be and just have it broadened. I think it's in a really good position at the moment, the country music scene.
Well, Melinda, thanks for your time this morning. I hope we do see you back for the Cabaret Festival next year.
Me too,
and I hope the album continues to knock Michael Bublé off his perch. And also happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you very much.